And what's up, y'all? And welcome back to another Dynamite review show episode on the Tricology News Talk. We hope everyone is enjoying their St. Patty's Day weekend. Hope y'all getting lucky or getting sober, drunk this weekend, however you want to put it at. But let's welcome our co-host, Leland. What's up, bro?
Top of the morning to you. That's my attempt at being Irish. Happy St. Patrick's Day, man. This was a great St. Patrick's Day show. How you doing, Trico?
I'm doing good. I'm good. But before we get into today's review show, let's talk about something that was a very exciting news, not just for all in the wrestling world, that Scott Hall, aka as you know as Razor Ramon, has passed due to it was on life support, and I couldn't take it much longer. So that was one of the saddest things, because Scott Hall, or Razor Ramon, whatever you want to call him, he was very well known. And let me tell you my story. I knew him when he was Scott Hall in the NWO. That's when I started watching wrestling, but then I had to watch back because I didn't know he was Razor Ramon at the time during the New Generation era that back in the time. So I saw his character, and his character was built from Miami, Florida, and it was very heavily influenced from Tony Montana in Scarface. So wherever he say hello to the bad guy, it was a reference to the lines of "say hello to my little friend" and "say goodnight to the bad guy" in the Scarface movies. So they kind of combined it up, and he's supposedly like a Cuban American type of bully from Miami, and he had in my view, one of the greatest intercontinental champions in the WWE. If you have not watched the classic WrestleMania ladder match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10, I hire you guys to watch that match. But the one moment that he changed the game is when he and Kevin Nash broke into WCW as the outsiders, and then few months on aligned themselves with Hulk Hogan to start the New World Order, aka the NWO, in '96. And that was one of the starting points to the Monday Night Wars that led to WWE to change their models into the Attitude Era. That led to bring in DX, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, and everything else. So it was a real game changer to the wrestling world. And I will never forget the quote he said in his Hall of Fame speech: "Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do." So what are your thoughts on Scott Hall and his passing, and how you well know him?
Yeah, man. Scott Hall was always one of my favorite wrestlers. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. He was like my definition of cool. Growing up, like no one is as cool as Razor Ramon. But no, man, you can't talk about wrestling in the 2000s and 90s without bringing him up. I mean, he was, he gave Steen the ideal to go the black and white Steen, so like he was, Kevin Nash said that he was like the smartest of them all. He had a great mind for the business, and, he's responsible for a lot of groundbreaking moments. I mean, Hogan going heel. Scott Hall was, he was the catalyst for that. Without him and Kevin Nash and everything working at the right time, that thing wouldn't have been there. So, I mean, he was the original members of the greatest faction of all time. That's the NWO. So, I mean, as a wrestling fan, I'm definitely sad. As a person, I'm sad. But all the stories and all the things that kind of go along with his passing, they go away. But thank you, Scott Hall, for your years of just work And I know it couldn't be easy a lot. You have to be away from your family, and those wrestlers live a hard life. So just thank you for your dedication to entertaining us and in the sport of professional wrestling.
Yes, you were certainly missed. And even at the beginning of the show, even Jim Ross says when he opened the show, he said, "Hey yo," that's with a tribute. But
Yo,
oh yeah, and even though yesterday was St. Patty's Day, but it was also a 316 day, if you know what that means. If you know what that means.
oh hell yeah!
Exactly. And we'll get to that. There was some moments that was referenced at 316. We'll get to that in a second. But the opening match of the night was the trios match between Adam Cole and the Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, versus the champions team of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the tag team champions, and the world champion, Hangman Adam Page. So this was all over the place. And this ended with Page and Cole tagged in, teeing off for one another. Page hit the dead eye, then got a pair of big moves. Jungle Boy hit a double doomsday device for good near fall, but Red Dragon hit the high low, and Cole lowered the boom for the win. So it was just a matter of to see who would actually eat the pinfall, but like it's not gonna really hurt the champions that much because I already knew that Heyman and Page was not going to get pinned in the match, so it had to be either Jungle Boy or Luchasaurus if the champions would have lost, and then the same day goes for Adam Cole and the Red Dragon, who would have ate the pinfall there if they would have lost. So it's just I think this is probably going to continue. Maybe to a double or nothing if Kenny Omega doesn't return at the time, but we'll see what happens between now and then.
Yeah, I'm happy to see this this rivalry keep going. I mean, honestly, this was a great way to start the show. I was looking forward to watching some good wrestling, and this did not disappoint. And I want to see Adam Page more on Dynamite going forward, either opening the show or closing the show. But I need to see the champ on TV because Kenny Omega was on TV every day week. And then he was doing Impact, and then he was doing other promotions. So, I mean, Adam Page needs to be on Dynamite more than once every Wednesday because he has that belt. But no, great match. Just gave me everything I was looking for from a nice AEW match. That great double clothesline doomsday device of the top rope from Jungle Boy. That was incredible. So, yeah, this actually made me really excited for this. I'm more excited to see the rematch than I was excited to see the original match after that match last night.
Yeah, and when you talk about champions competing, like they could be on the show, but they don't have to wrestle every single week, like what WWE is doing with their champions contenders match, which is so stupid that don't make no sense. You're making your champions lose and make them look stupid. Like AEW doesn't do that. They just take their time and see what's gonna move forward. Because like I said, Double or Nothing is all the way up to May. And then you got all of April to figure out what's the story is going to continue and what do you want to make new. So I feel like that this is going to continue on. But like I said, it all depends on when Kenny Omega returns and we have that Elite versus Undisputed Era match. But until then, this is your rivalry to looking for right now.
Yep, I think. But I mean, I know Adam Cole is going to do a damn good job in this area. I mean, these guys they know how to tell wrestling stories. So I'm never going to be like, this needs to go or whatever, because I know they're going to do good wrestling stories. I trust these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So Keith Lee and Team Taz, which is Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, were backstage. Lee will face Matt Katzer on this Friday's Rampage, which will be after one of the NCAA matches. I'm hearing at the start time is 11:30. I could be wrong. Just keep y'all schedules and the TV guy on the lookout. But Starks told Lee not to show up on his show and attack him as a result. Starks said that if Lee show up again, the same thing will happen. And then Keith Lee retaliate, oh, that might happen to you, like I knocked you out. And I'll see you on Friday.
I think first off, I gotta give it out to Ricky Starks. Last night his promo really stuck out to me with his listen here, my man. Like all that stuff is just hilarious to me. So his promos are starting to become much more entertaining for me to watch. Keith Lee, his promos are unique. Like he don't say much. He has this like Superman voice that he does. I'm still trying to kind of get used to his promos. I wasn't watching NXT or WWE when he was on there. So I'm still getting used to Keith Lee. But he's great in the ring and he's a hell of a talent.
Yeah, but I think with this rivalry, I think they're going to do it. Keith Lee is going to battle one by one. I think he's going to face Powerhouse Hobbs first, and then later on face Ricky Starks. That's how I see it.
Keith Lee needed to take that FTW belt because I think he does embody that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at everything he went through in the last 2-3 years. You know, I think that FTW belt will look good on Keith Lee, and it actually make it mean something. You know.
Yep, and that belt only been defended once, and that was against for freaking Jay Lethal. That was
like
only defended.
Like, what are we doing with this belt? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's going to be a part of the show, make it a part of the show. It's like right now, it just feels like it's the most pointless title in all of professional wrestling. I think the 24/7 title is more important than FTW title.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I cannot believe he just said that. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, well, that's not my fault. And I think, and also just another thing, I think AEW has a good opportunity to make that Dynamite ring another kind of title or a belt. That's something that's defended more often. And with this ring, you get certain perks or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think that ring needs to be defended more often.
Well, it defended like every when they do now winter is coming, that's when they do the Diamond Ring, but that solidifies MJF's giving. But we'll get to him in a second.
Sure.
And Chris Stanley in a video played where she took out the makeup, experience between the footage of her struggling in the ring, and she might be going a new character change.
This was very interesting. It's like Elamina Summer. What was that girl name? What was that transformation of WWE it took forever to do?
Oh my God.
But anyways, it's interesting to see Statlander do something different. You know, she's been the alien this whole time, so I'm curious to see what the new gimmick is going to be.
We'll see what's her new gimmick will be in the coming week. But William Regal joined on commentary. His reaction to Dan Helms, he say, "Pray tell, man with the mask, who is the demon with?" I don't know what the heck he said, but John Moxley and Daniel Bryan versus the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Will Utah. So this was a pretty good Slapanaga match. Utah in the final moments, Utah fired up on Danielson, but was taken out by a super suplex. Danielson bridge on another for a good near fall. Then he kicked Utah in the head, followed by Moxley tagging in and applying the Bulldog choke for the submission. After the match, Utah turned away from the best friends, walking up the ramp and offered Regal a handshake, but Regal slapped him in the face. They exchanged words before the segment ended. So, do you see William Utah joining William Regal's group of what I like to call
that was very
assassins of Bryan Danielson and John Moxley?
First off, how hard were they working Utah last night? I mean, I felt bad for the guy after a while. Like, they were really working. I mean, but it was very interesting to see you to kind of break away from the best friends and want to be more part of this this like new wolf pack of wrestlers, these professional wrestlers that's about to be just trying to change the game. And William Regal just smacking him and seeing if he'll back down, and Yuta got in his face. Man, Yuta got over last night, I think, with everything that kind of went down. It made Yuta look good. He lost, but he won. So, yeah, that was a great segment last week. Great match, too.
I mean, this goes all the way back to when Danielson said he's looking for when you get the group more people and join his group. So Yuta might be that first one to join that group of assassins led by William Regal.
I can't wait to see the official name of this group. I hope it's a good one.
But we'll see in the coming weeks what's going to happen. And so the Acclaim were backstage. Well, first off, before we go to the Acclaim, FTR was backstage first, and Cass said they fired Tony Blanchard because of their lack of focus. The Young Bucks walk off and mock them, saying they will always be the second best tag team in AEW. So,
did you get all the Bret Hart hits?
Oh yeah, I feel like Bret Hart might be FTR's new manager.
I got a lot of Bret Hart hits. The Young Buck says something about the best there is, or something like that. And there was pink in the background, and it was the Bret Hart pink. So yeah, got a lot of hints last night about Bret Hart being there. And if Bret Hart comes on, I'll be so excited. I love Bret Hart.
I mean, he was there when they revealed the AEW World Title back then.
I mean, exactly. He was the one. He got his own theme song at AEW. If you go to iTunes and look it up. So yeah, I mean, he was the one to make that belt, legit.
Yeah. So now we go to the Acclaim backstage. They both talk about how Caster would be Keith Lee on Rampage. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse walked up and demanded Caster to take care of business. But then Swerve Strickland walked up and it instantly challenged Starks to a match and remind him whose house it was. It's Swerve's house. And then one of the Acclaim members say, "Isn't that guy a rapper? Isn't that guy? Isn't that guy?"
Yeah, Max Caster versus Keith Lee. I think it's going to be a good match. Like I said, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to see more single matches for Max Caster, so I'm happy they're doing it.
But now I think Ricky Starks might have two enemies on his hand. You got Keith Lee and now Shane Strickland.
Also another great promo by Swerve. I'm happy to see all these guys. Ricky Starks versus Shane Strickland. I'm into that.
Oh yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And so the Jericho Appreciation Society commencement. Matt Lee started out by saying the only reason that the fans get to see Judas is that Jericho made it possible. Jericho is a better man than me. Jeff Parker said Jericho deserved to be praised and idolized for his contributions to both wrestling as a human being. Jericho said the earth has been around for a billion years, and we are lucky to be around the same time as him. If there was no Chris Jericho, there will be no AEW. But instead of praising Jericho, people complain and insult him on social media. He is the greatest performer in history, and the fans didn't appreciate him. The inner circle may not appreciate Jericho, but these men do. And this is why they are the Jericho Appreciation Society. They don't relate to the rest of the AEW roster because the rest of the rosters are just pro wrestlers, and Jericho isn't that. He is a sports entertainer. Garcia said, if Jericho calls himself a sports entertainer, then I am too. Jericho talked Garcia off and references that his notable car accident from January 2019 that Jericho donated towards. Jericho said 2.0, a bad name from Bad Creative, will use their real names from now on. He said he was the reason that they have jobs at AEW after a call from Kevin Owens. Jericho said Hager was the hand of the king. Hager said, we are the JAS. We are jacked. And we beat up pro wrestlers. Jericho closed by saying, this day commands of the era of the sports entertainer in AEW. Man, listen, this is how you cut a heel promo on the crowd. Like saying you are a sports entertainer and in a pro wrestling show, like
being proud of it.
My goodness. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jericho is definitely one of the greatest pro wrestlers, but at the same time, he also a good sports entertainer as well. So this is a great heel promo. I absolutely loved it, but I'm still kind of want to see how this group but moves forward. That's why I wanted to see. Like I know Jericho and Hager had some success by themselves together, but with 2.0, well, we can't call them 2.0 anymore. But we'll see how this group gonna go.
Yeah, this was just great. I mean, knowing your fan base, knowing your base in AEW, and being just kind of like keeping up with the times and seeing everything that's happening on the internet and being relevant. I mean, at the end of the day, he is being relevant with what he's saying. How do I make this AEW crowd unhappy? He's been kind of a babyface, for a long while. He went heel a couple of times, but not like this, where he's just like doing a clear kind of, I just want to make this crowd unhappy, So this was hilarious to me. I had to watch it twice. I was like, oh, he's really doing it. So now I want to really see what's coming next and see how he makes sure that he's doing sports entertainment things and not professional wrestler things or those things that the crowd is going to pick up. Awesome names that they got, most ridiculous names possible. They said last night. But yeah, this is awesome. I think, how else do you make an AEW fan mad? Say you're a sports entertainer and be proud of it.
And I know somewhere Eddie Kingston and Santonio Ortiz are watching and just buying their time.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
And then Serena Deeb addressed Cardo Sheeta's return, saying that she was in Sheeta's head and she'll be responsible for ending Sheeta's career. So I think the next time they meet is going to have some kind of no DQ stipulations. Probably either on a Dynamite or on a Rampage. It doesn't matter, but just can't wait to see what happens there.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to their battle. I like for those guys. It's always a good match.
Oh, yeah. And now, TNT Championship match. Scorpio Sky versus Warlow. Okay, now, one of the things that pissed me off, like, Scorpio Sky had the original TNT Championship, and then the Inner Championship was on the race of freaking Dan Lambert. Like, what the freak? I mean, you could have given it to Ethan Page. Like those two, that if they want to get creative, they could have been like co-champions and have them do a free bird, have them one of them be the one to defend the title and stuff like that. But like freaking Dan Lambert, I'm literally want to jump into that TV and punch that. But like, get this off your way. You don't deserve that shit. What's wrong with you, man?
Well, apparently, Scorpio Sky gifted the second belt to Lambert, to American Top Team, so he can display it in his gym.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Then I guess Lambert decided to just go ahead and wear it.
My goodness, man. But I hate that dude with a passion. But in the final moments of the match, Warlow called for the Powerbomb Symphony. He hit one, then another, then a third. On the fourth, Lambert distracted Warlow, allowing Sky to roll to the floor. Sean Spears emerged on the ramp, chairs in hand. Then MJF come out of nowhere, drive Warlow into the ring post. Sky then roll up Warlow for the win. And then after the match, everyone tried to beat up on Warlow, but Wardlow fought everyone off and isolated MJF. He had MJF in the powerbomb position, and all the fans were like, "Yes, do it, do it, do it, do it!" But Spears hit Wardlow in the back with the chair. Benford locked on a sleeper, and Wardlow apparently has no friends to make the save. Spears then hit Wardlow over the head with the chair as MJF paid off Lambert for the assist. MJF then struck Wardlow with the Dynamite diamond ring and poses to close the segment. Now, we talked about this last week, and if Scorpio Sky was going to be a transitional champion. And one side of me wanted Wardlow to be champion, but the other side of me says, don't let Scorpio Sky be a transitional champion, because I think in the few couple of weeks, I think they're going to revisit Scorpio Sky versus Sammy Guevara in a rematch, and that also includes Ty Conti and also Paige VanZant in the rivalry as well. So I'm glad Scorpio Sky kept the championship. But on the other hand, we like I said before, the MJF was going to come in and cost Wardlow the championship, and I even said that. So we all know this is going to lead to MJF versus Wardlow at Double or Nothing down the road. But what if they do a stipulation in the match saying if MJF wins, then Wardlow has to stay with MJF in his contract and he cannot leave. But if Wardlow wins, not only he gets off his contract with MJF, now he gets paid a full contract with Tony Khan. So what do you think about those two rivalries? The first with Scorpio Sky renewing his rivalry with Sammy Guevara in the near future, and also MJF with Wardlow right now.
I definitely can see that possibility, having that kind of Vince Russo match, contract on a pole type thing. I think, so last week we said there's too many people who don't want Wardlow to have that championship for him to have, and it showed exactly last night. And I knew MJF was going to pop back up eventually, and man, Wardlow actually had his hands on him for a second. I was super excited, but I knew it wasn't going to happen just like that, just that quickly. But it's going to lead up to a good match. Now, where do I see Wardlow getting a title shot or having some gold around his waist? I'm not sure if I'm going to see that anytime soon. It has to be something he takes away from Mac. So maybe Wardlow becomes the new holder of that Dynamite ring in the future.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that possibly happening in the future. But I think, and I know MJF has Shawn Spears, but what if he sets up alliance with the American Top Team? Because I think FTR is no longer part of with the Pinnacle anymore, and I can feel I can see that type of alliance.
I think we were talking about that last week. Like, I don't think Max is going to depend on Shawn Spears to protect him. There's going to be another big guy that comes in, and I was thinking maybe Braun Strowman comes in, or whatever name he's going by right now. But maybe Braun comes in, and that's like Wardlow's big challenge to get over, to get to Max, because it's never just like when you go against MJF, you never just get the match. You always got to go through these obstacles and hurdles, and you got to go through like 4 people before you finally get to them. You know, that's how they've been booking them. So it'll be interesting to see how this is going to play out. It's like that's the best thing about wrestling. Sometimes you think you know how it's going to go, or you kind of assume how it's going to go, and then they do something different. You know.
But if Braun comes to AEW, then so is EC3, because they're a duo together.
I think that brand is. I ain't gonna say. I think that brand is kind of done, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. So, Jay Cargill and Matt Sterling were backstage. Jay talks about being 30-0, and they both want to see who's next. Now, the way I see between this relationship with Jay Cargill, aka Jay Bird, and Mark Sterling, I feel like Mark Sterling is gonna be the one that causes not only Jade Cargill the TBS championship, but also give her her first loss down the road when that happens.
It's possible. I mean, but we seen on Twitter, Athena challenged her, so I would like to see a new open challenge, see some new faces come in, try to knock out the incredible Jade Cargill off her mountain. I don't know why people keep hating on her.
No. So she's doing great, but I just not feeling this relationship with Jade and Mark Sterling. I feel like Mark Sterling is going to be the one that causes Jade her first loss.
It looked like last night like there was some irritation from Jade at Mark.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So something could be breaking down there.
Yeah, let's see who's going to be victim number 31 if that happens. But the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy versus Private Party.
So I'm happy. I'm sorry. Before you get into the review, so happy for Private Party to have the opportunity to go against the Hardys. That's incredible. Like I know that's like a dream match for them, and the fact they were able to do it, that's just incredible. So shout out to Private Party for having a dream come true last night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this is the Hardys' first team together since 2019 after Jeff left the company, I think back in 2020. Yeah, in WWE. I think this is like since 2019. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. But in the final moments of the match, Jeff ran wild on Cassidy with some cool leg drops, including one that fell into a penny attempt, but it was the went for two. He sets up for the Swanton Bomb, but Quinn pulled him down. Matt hit the side effect on Quan. Then Jeff hit a top rope splash on Cassidy for the two. Cassidy countered the twist of fate. Matt stopped the silly string, and then the Hardys each hit a twist of fate. Jeff then landed the Swanton Bomb for the win. After the match, Andrade El Idolo with his new Andrade family office strolled down the ramp. They surrounded the ring, but Sting and Darby Allin come out to even the odds. So I feel like we got ourselves a 4-on-4 match down the line, possibly for Double or Nothing. I just wish Andrade was not aligned with the Butcher and Blade and Bunny and stuff. So with Ring of Honor down the road, I feel like we need some more Latino representation with Andrade with a new Latino group.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, it seems kind of weird that Andrade now has this like weird group that he never really wanted. You know what I mean? But I guess a part of his character is he's been looking for people to work for him. So now he has a full staff and he's the boss. So let's see if this group starts to take a different direction other than being kind of like the job squad. So yeah, this faction, now that Matt is not in it, this whole story kind of feels rushed a little bit, but that's kind of Matt Hardy's fashion. Like, it just gets to the point. So we'll see how it goes. But it was great seeing the Hardy Boys in a ring together doing some of their classic moves. It looked like they had like a little miscommunication at one spot at the end where we thought Jeff was about to do the Swanton, and he just kind of a splash. So it was like a little miscommunication there, but excited to have the original music, and it feels like I'm watching, some Attitude Era stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said before, the Hardys need to win the AEW Tag Team Championships before they hang up the boots.
Facts. They either win. They definitely need those belts. And first off, just to have the Hardy Boys being champions of AEW tag team belts, I mean, that's just history for AEW.
Yep. So, and Red Velvet was backstage said Layla Hurst has changed. She was her friend, but now Velvet is going to put a stop to that. So it looks like we got a Red Velvet and Layla Hurst for this Friday's Rampage, along with Darby Allin and the Butcher, and Keith Lee versus Matt Casser, and then a trios match with House of Black versus Bear Country and Fuego del Sol.
Fuego.
And now, the main event we all been waiting for. An all-female mariachi band played to the hometown girl, Thunder Rosa. That was great. And now the steel cage match with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Thunder Rosa for the AEW World Championship. This was so incredible, and it was just as good, just like their unsanctioned lights out match last year. So yeah, this match had everything: chairs, thumbtacks, everything. Yeah, both girls were bleeding, everything that you think of. And one thing I noticed that they spread out the cage. Well, it used to be good because the latest cage matches didn't have where you can go outside the ring, so they kind of spread that out a bit, so that way they can use weapons inside the cage. Because the only way you can win the cage match in AEW is just by pinfall submission. You cannot escape. So I kind of like how they spread it. They spread the cage out so that way they can go out the ring and get the weapons. So I don't know if this is going to be the new thing, or they're just going to go back to being let the cage go close to the ring without no escaping outside the ring. But that's the one thing I noticed. But like I said, it had everything that you could think of. But in the final moments, Baker put on the glove, flipped off the camera, tried to win for the lockjaw, but Rosa bite Baker's hand to stop it. Baker's floated over the other side, but Rosa smashed her head into the thumbtacks, and then Rosa powerbombed Baker onto the tacks, and then Rosa then hit the Fire Thunder Drive to win the championship. And then Rosa was in tears of joy. The confetti came down from the Rafters to end the show. Even Dustin Rose was out to congratulate Rosa for the win.
Yeah, this was a really good match. I did notice that too, Trick, but they kind of spread it out the cage a little bit. It's like the front side of the cage or the right side of the cage, you could still attack them and throw them into the cage, but then like the left side of the cage, it had space there so you could, throw them out and walk on the outside. So that was interesting. I did pick it up as well. But also, this match was really good. Was it as good as their original like lights out match? Probably not. That match was just like, I think, just a moment in time that is going to be hard to kind of duplicate. But they work really well together. And this may be me, but I'm not a fan of Britt Baker's like in-ring work. I don't know. That's just me. Sometimes it just, I'm not sure what it is, or just kind of like how she takes bumps or how she sells. But something about it, just not sure. But she could tell a good wrestling story in the ring for sure. And I think a lot of it is psychology, but sometimes just her in-ring work just looks a little questionable for me. But Thunder Rosa always does a really good job, and Thunder Rosa really is. I knew this was like her time, for it. It kind of did like make me be like, well, why did they have them wrestle at Revolution if this was going to be the outcome? Like why not just have that Revolution? But I understand it's that the hometown is that much bigger, better feeling for Thunder Rosa. So I definitely get why they did it, but it seemed like maybe Revolution should have been like a triple threat match, and then they had to, Thunder Rosa challenged her because maybe Britt won, but she pinned somebody else. Thunder Rosa said, "We never pinned me," so it would have been a good way to kind of have this rematch in San Antonio. But yeah, overall good match. I think we were ready for a new women's champion. The new women's belt looks great. And now this is the era of Thunder Rosa. See how it goes. See who takes the belt off her.
Absolutely. So we have a new queen of the AEW's women division. We still got to get props for Britt Baker for carrying the division. She is definitely one of those that has like that charisma when it comes to her or her work in the ring. And of course, Thunder Rosa is that professional wrestler that you will see a lot of wrestling matches, good, awesome wrestling matches you'll see. So with her as champion, I feel like we're gonna get more. And who I think gonna be our next challenger, probably gonna be Serena D down the line. And then for Britt Baker, I think she probably gonna get into a rivalry storyline where possibly be with Jamie Hayter down the line. That's the way I see it going down between those two when they split off from one another. And yeah, that's the way I see it.
Hey Trico, if this was WWE 2K22, I think I would put Britt Baker as the actress class and Thunder Rosa as the indie class.
Yeah, that made sense. That made sense.
Yep. But yeah, a really good match, man. I'm excited to see what they do with this new with the division now that Thunder Rosa's in it, because she's a hard hitting woman, and I know she's gonna want to put out some really good matches and have memorable matches. So it's gonna be interesting to see what she does for her reign.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see. This is definitely gonna bring out more women like Tony Storm and hopefully me and possibly more others that's that's free agents or that's members of ROH. So it's gonna be definitely itchy, and also especially with the like we mentioned before, the Owen Hart Cup coming up soon as well.
Yeah. Oh, what if it's Ruby Soho take the belt off Thunder down the line?
Well, she being dark lately, but let's see if she make her way back to Dynamite and Rampage.
They haven't put her ass on dark a lot.
Yeah. Oh my god. But and one of the reference the 316 that I mentioned that the Big Breaker not Big Breaker, Thunder Rosa did a stunner in honor of 316 in the match as well.
She had it on her trunks on her back too.
Yeah,
316.
Exactly. So and she even wore green for the St. Patrick's Day, same thing like she did last year. So that was it to see. And this was overall pretty good show. Felt like a pay-per-view. If it like a little mini pay-per-view, if you want to call it that, but everything else was great.
Yeah, definitely a great entertaining 2 hours of professional wrestling and now sports entertainment. Thanks to the JAS. That was like the greatest promo of the night. And then the greatest moment of the night was the moment with Yuta and John Moxley and Bryan Danielson. I think best match of the night was the first match with Adam Cole and Red Dragon versus Adam Page and Jurassic Express.
Absolutely, I would definitely agree with you on that. And before we wrap up, anything else you want to say?
Hey man, empathy. If you guys listen to this review, just know that Trico and I are working on a feature film called Empathy. We're going to be shooting it in May. If you want to know more about it or just stay connected with the production, go to Facebook and join our Empathy Facebook group. We're going to have an Instagram to come soon. But yeah, man, I'm excited to make this movie with you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're grateful that we originally had it as a short, but luckily we're able to turn it into a feature. And we're excited to see how it's going to go when we start production in May. And other than that, this is Trico, and he is Leland, and we're signing off.
Peace.